98FM. The sound of the city. 98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m. with Adrian Kennedy.
Hi, how are you?
First of all, thanks a million for speaking to us. I know this is still a very difficult subject to talk about, and I was touched by the post that you put up on your Facebook page the other day, which I was reading through, and it's absolutely shocking what your mother went through. First of all, take me back to the events that occurred on the 25th of June.
We had a normal day. Everything was fine. She'd come over to my house. My little sister was gone away for the weekend with her boyfriend, so it was just myself and Mammy and a friend of mine. And she had put my little boy to bed. We said about her staying over. I said, do you want to stay, man? She said, no, I won't stay. She said, I'll go home with the dog. And I said, right, okay. So I walked her over and she said, here, I'll take a basket of washing for you, because I'd only moved into a new house, didn't have a washing line. That's the way Mammy was. She'd always do something for everyone else. And I walked her over. We'd said goodnight, had a bit of banter back and forth over the street, shouting, oh, I love you, no, I love you more, and just messing. We had a few messages back and forth, and then I fell asleep and I never replied back to her. So I hadn't heard from her the next morning, and thought it really, really weird. So I said, maybe she's just having a lie on because she doesn't sleep, but then she doesn't have lie-ons either. She's up for work every morning, and she's not the type of woman to laze around. So I went over and there was no sign of her in the house. The front door was locked from the outside, which meant she had left the house. There was no dinner on a Sunday, and it was a Sunday, and she would always have the pots there with the potatoes, the veg, the whole lot on. None of that was done. My washing was still on the table, which I thought was weird because it was a nice day. She would have had that straight out at 7 o'clock in the morning.
So something didn't look right immediately?
I didn't feel right. When I walked into the house, I had this awful feeling. But yeah, I still didn't do anything about it. I kind of rang my auntie and I said, have you seen Mammy? And she said, no. And I had panicked before like this. I thought she had gone or something had happened to her, and she was 2 hours gone. We couldn't find her. And she was actually in a different shop talking to somebody because she was just a talker. She would talk to anybody. And then I was like, Jesus, will I ring the guards? Is she gone missing or what's the story? And I said, no, you're being stupid. So she's at the shop or she's gone somewhere So I stayed in the house. I put on the meat for the dinner, and about half an hour later, keep trying the phone, there was still nothing, and my cousin runs in through the door. The guards have Mammy's phone, they're after answering her phone, and you need to come with me. So I just picked up my little boy, went into her car, and they said that she was at Pollerton Road. And I said, oh my God, she's after getting knocked down. And as we got further up the Pollerton Road, then I said, I don't think this is the Pollerton Road anymore. I said, I think this is a different road. And she said, we'll just stay driving it. So we drove up further and seen my auntie's car parked outside a funeral home. And I was like, why is she parked there? And then I got out and I seen the ambulance parked way up in the funeral home. I was like, no, she's not after getting knocked down here. I said, this is not right. And I knew something wasn't right. And I ran up and I wanted to see her. And they said, no, you can't see her. And I said, no, please, I want to see her. And my auntie held me back and she was holding on to me. And I was kind of shouting and giving out to the guards. And I said, just let me see her. And they were like, you can't see her. She's a crime scene. And I just fell to the ground. I was like, oh my God, she's dead. She's dead. And he said,
so that was your initial thought, that she was after dying?
Yeah, because when they said she was a crime scene, I really didn't put it any other way. I just thought she was dead. And they said, no, she wasn't dead, but she wasn't very good either. And that I had to just go straight to Kilkenny and let the ambulance men do their job. And he put me into the car. And the whole way down to Kilkenny, I still couldn't understand what was going on. I kept saying to my uncle, oh my God, I said, she was in the ditch. I said, she was really far back in the ditch. I said, did someone rob her handbag? And I said, she wouldn't have fought for her handbag. I don't understand, no, Mammy wouldn't have fought back. She would have given him the handbag. If he had asked her for it, she would have given him the last few pence. That's the way she was. And that's what was going on through my mind the whole way down. And when we got there, then the guards had got there before us. They had escorted the ambulance down. And I just said to him, can I see her now, please? And he said, no, you can't. And I kind of started giving out there again. I was like, no, you promised me I could see her. And she's not great, he said, and we can't allow you to see her. And I had when I went down at the funeral home, I went down funny on my ankle. And I was told to go get an X-ray by the guards. So while I was sitting in X-ray, a trolley came by me And I looked at the man, as I thought, on the trolley, and I was like, Jesus, he's after in such a bad accident. And then I looked again, and I could see the shape of her nose. It was very disfigured, but I knew it was Mammy's nose and her little nose ring in it. And I got up to see, and the sight I see, I'll have a nightmare for the rest of my life over. Like, she wasn't my mother. He had completely destroyed her. And the guard said, oh, you can't touch her. And like, you don't know what it's like to want to touch someone.
I know, obviously, because they had to carry out an examination and forensic. So such were the injuries that your mother sustained from this attack.
I didn't recognise her. I didn't know my own mother.
So it transpired that she had been attacked by this.
Yeah, he asked me after she'd been wheeled away, would I sign a consent form? And I said, for what? And he said, oh, it's for doctors to see her. And I said, what kind of doctors? And he said, SATU. And I said, who are they? And he said, they're sexual assault treatment unit. And I said, please tell me one thing. He said, and don't lie to me. He said, did she have her trousers on? And he says to me, no. And I knew then that no one would take off your trousers for the sake of it. They wouldn't just take off your trousers just to do nothing. So I knew then, before they'd even confirmed it, that Mammy had been raped by him, and that's what was wrong.
My God. That must have hit you like a ton of bricks.
It was just unreal. Like, I walked out because I was the only one in A&E at the time. I was on my own. I walked back out to the waiting room, and they all knew by my face something was wrong. And I just said, he raped her. And my uncle was like, oh no, stop. He said, don't be saying that. He said, you don't know. And I said, I do know. I said, would you go to the length of taking someone's trousers off? I said, and like, not doing anything. I knew deep down then, I just knew. Then a few hours later, by the sexual assault treatment unit.
Had you heard of her, or had you known this individual, Anthony Cassidy, before the attack took place?
No. They're family from Carlow. He never lived in Carlow. Well, he did for, I think, the younger years. Well, he was living in Enniscorthy with a wife and a child.
Yeah, father of one.
Yeah, and I think, as far as I'm aware, the marriage broke down and he came back to Carlow to the home house and was living in a caravan at the back of the family's home, and had only been in Carlow for 6 weeks when he attacked Mammy.
Why did you take to social media, and what point did you want to get across? What did you want to say?
Being honest, the whole way through, kind of court cases and stuff, we weren't allowed to say anything because he wasn't guilty as such yet and couldn't be named. And it's very hard when you know what he is and then no one's naming him. So at the first possibility, when the papers put it up, I took a picture of him and shared it. And people did share, and it did get likes, and people did. I just want to raise awareness of him. But I think this post that I put up the day after Mammy's birthday, showing Mammy on a good day, I think it's hit home with a lot of people, because seeing is believing, and I know everyone knows Mammy is very bad, but I don't think they know to the extent her life is now.
Okay, we'll talk about your mother now in a second. I want to find out how you feel about this sentence that was passed down. He was given 18 years, an 18-year sentence. Were you happy with that?
I am happy in a way, yes, but I would have rathered life, but I'm not the judge. He got 18 for the rape and 18 for the assault, but because they can't give him 36, and he said that he showed some sort of remorse, which I never seen that day, and have never seen from the first day I met that man in court. I've never seen 1 ounce of remorse. I got a handwritten letter the day before the court, the sentencing hearing, the day before. If he was sorry, of course you would have tried to get a letter out sooner. Not that it would have made a difference. Do you mean I don't accept his sorry, and I don't accept that he's any sort of remorse for what he's done to Mammy. If he had remorse, he would have called someone that night, or if it had been a spur-of-the-moment thing, the judge even said it. It was premeditated. He stalked and followed my mother and then attacked her at the best place he could. It was just, it's awful. It's horrific.
It really is.
Yeah.
You said in your post that your mother can remember him following her, but can remember little else about the attack, or is that true? How much of it can she remember?
She says she knows he was following her, and she said she tried to make herself look big by kind of pulling up her shoulders. That's her way of doing it. She'll sit in the chair and she'll say, I tried to lift my shoulders and my head to make myself look bigger, because she's tiny, like. Well, she was at the time. She's put on a lot of weight now because of medications, and she can't walk, so she's put up a good bit of weight. But at the time, she would have been only like a size 6 and 5'4", 5'5". But like she said, he followed her, and she knew he was following her. She remembers getting 2 slaps to the head, and then nothing. But we seen that on CCTV. Like, she was unconscious when he dragged her in over he dropped her kind of at the start of a wall and just kind of gripped her up again and thrown her into the ditch like she was nothing. Like,
literally treated her like a piece of dirt. Threw her into the ditch, left her there for dead.
I think the worst comment out of the whole trial was that when the guards put to him about what he'd done to Mammy, I wouldn't rape a woman, he said, I'd pay for it in a brothel first. So he classed my mother lower than a prostitute that he could pay for. That was the worst, and that's the thing that'll haunt me till the day I die. And I think that's why I'm so... I say some people think I'm mad going on Facebook and sharing them and doing this and doing that, but it's not for me. It's not about me. None of this is for me. I'm the only one that can talk for Mammy, and I'm the only one that can get out there and stop some other family going through what we've went through, and some other innocent woman going through what Mammy's going through. Like,
This happened less than a year ago.
Yeah.
How is your mother on? I mean, the video you put up on your Facebook page, it's a video taken from behind her, and it shows her struggling to walk. How is she coping with this? With
the brain damage, she copes very well, being honest. She has nightmares. The hospital she's attending now, because her heart rate will not go down, they're thinking because the brain can't process anxiety and stuff like that, her body's feeling it, but she's not portraying it. She has aphasia, which is lack of comprehension of speech and ability to read and write. She has problems retrieving names of objects, putting words into sentences. She has dysarthria, which is the actual speaking muscles are damaged, and she can't control them, leaving her with slow and slurred speech, and we would have difficulty to understand her. She has ataxia, which is the lack of muscle control and coordination of movements, meaning she finds it hard to pick up things or to walk.
She literally has life-changing injuries, and injuries that sadly will not go away. And this is just the physical injuries. This isn't even taking into account the emotional injuries to both you and your mother. Do you talk about what happened on that day in June of last year? Does she ever ask you?
She doesn't really. She tries to... She'll say to me, why would he do that? There's sometimes she had a turn... she had a turn about 2 months ago and ended up in Kilkenny Hospital. Her legs went from underneath her, and her speech went really, really bad, worse than what it is. So they think she had a TIA. It's like a mini stroke, and they said she's going to be prone to strokes and Alzheimer's and stuff like that. But she said to me, am I allowed to hate him now? She said, because I'm going to be left like this. And I said, of course you're allowed to hate him. I said, you don't have to ask. Because the whole way along, she said, I don't hate him. She said, maybe there's something wrong with him. That's Mammy's, she's just so nice, whereas I hate him. And I'll be the first person to voice that.
You've every right to, and I'm amazed to hear your mother saying something like that, but I guess we deal in things a different way. One line which you did say, which really hit a chord with me, was you said, one fact I know is that Cassidy ruined my mother's life.
Yeah. She's no job now. She's no purpose now. She has no self-belief now. She has no life. She got up in that morning and she loved to go to work. She loved doing what she done. She loved the kids that she worked with. She has none of that now. He has taken everything. He took her dignity that night that he raped her, and he takes her dignity every morning. I have to wash that woman at the age of 53. That lad is just a complete monster, and he will never know what he's done to my mother. I have to see her every day struggling. And every time I look at her, I think of him and think, you've done this to her. And that's why I get so angry. And I think I probably do need to start out the anger there and continue it with Mammy and kind of try break the bond that I see of her and him together. But, I just want everyone to know who he is, what he is, because he will get out. He will still be young enough to hurt somebody else again. And I really don't believe this is his first attack. You don't go to the viciousness of what he done with Mammy, and was so confident about it, walking around town all that week, thinking he was untouchable. That's a sign of cockiness. That's a sign someone's done this before.
Well, certainly in the reports in the media say that they were trying to link him to other crimes that took place, and it seems bizarre that this will be the only attack that he has ever carried out. He is. I mean, you're right in saying that this man is a monster, but sadly, because of the way the courts are in this country, he will be walking the streets. I don't know how long. I mean, I'm sure he won't serve the 18 years that he's been handed down. And I know that's something that's in the back of your mind and in the back of your mother's mind, that he will be a free man again. And you're saying, and I can hear it in your voice, you have a lot of hate. I mean, it's completely justifiable, the hate you have after what he did to your mother. Are you receiving counselling yourself?
No, I haven't gone that far yet. It's kind of, I saw Mammy first, and she's up in rehab at the moment. She's trying to learn and see if she can do a few bits for herself. It's not really... We had a family meeting yesterday, and unfortunately it's not going as well as what we thought it would be. There's no improvements because of the brain damage. Mammy's not remembering tactics and stuff they're telling her. So, but she's another 5 weeks left of rehab, so hopefully that might help or something can be changed. But no, when Mammy is right and Mammy's done, then I'll sort myself out.
Well, I think you're a very brave girl for coming on the show and for speaking out about it. And I know this is all part of your therapy to talk about that monster, Anthony Cassidy. Thanks for joining us on 98FM's Dublin Talks.
No worries, thank you.
98FM. The sound of the city. 98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m. with Adrian.